Hello everyone, and thank you for the introduction. So, to understand what we are doing, I want to give you an example experienced by myself. So, I also had such a bad customer service experience. So, last year I was in New York, and between my meetings, business meetings there, I used this bike renting service. It's a city bike, and it's quite easy to use. You have only a credit card and you have different stations in the city, and you put your credit card into the station and then you can rent a bike. So you go with the bike, return it, and then I walk around, had my meeting, made some sightseeing, grabbed a coffee and so on, and then I tried to get a new bike. And this wasn't possible because the terminal said to me, okay, you didn't gave your bike back, but I couldn't remember where I gave it back, so I was totally lost. And then I tried to get help from the customer service, and for that I opened their help page, and their help page looked like this. So it's a really easy service, but when it comes to customer service, you got this search field there, you can type in something, it's not real time, you have to press enter, then it search, then you have like 100 articles, and you have to exactly match what you're meaning. So it's not semantic or something like this, so that was a really bad experience. So my next step was I searched for a phone number, then I tried to call the call center there, but then I stayed for 3 times in the line, and after 15 minutes or 20 minutes, then I get an agent, and the agent told me that he don't have access to the information to know where my bike is. So I was totally lost, and then I tried to get my bike back for 2 hours and search the station where I returned my bike previously. So, what is the expected experience here? So, what I wanted to have there to get a good customer service experience. My experience that I want to have is something like this. I have a well-designed user. I can describe my problem in my words, and then the system detects my attention. It gives me an answer. And then, if it works there, you have some GPS information, and the system has access to the GPS information, and it shows me where my bike is, and I can go back there. So, we are OMQ, and we work on this experience to make customer service better. One of our clients is Deutsche Bahn Connect. They have different sharing services like Call a Bike, Flinkster, Stadtrat Hamburg, Lidl Bike, Ford Bike, and so on. And they use our service to make their customer service better. So what we provide them is a knowledge base where they have all the questions and answers in it. And then this gets connected to their call center, so the service agents have all the information they need to answer stuff. Then it gets connected to the website where you have help pages, where you can search in real time for stuff you have problems with. And it gets connected to the contact form, so you get real-time answers in the contact form and don't have to wait like 2 days or something like this to get an answer. And it also works in chatbots to solve problems of the customers. Let me give you another example how that works here. So here we see an example where you see a chatbot. So you can talk with the chatbot, and now you can ask the chatbot a question. And after you ask the chatbot the question, it's also possible for the chatbot to answer the questions directly by having all the information from the backends, where you have here, for example, you need a key for unlocking a bike or something like this, and then you can directly communicate with the chatbot, could tell them your customer ID and your name and all the information. And then the chatbot by itself calls backend systems, and then 2 days later you get the key for your bikes. So it's quite easy, and no person is involved in that process. So what is the problem or what is the challenge in that field? The challenge in that field is that you have to recognize the customer intention. So a customer don't tell you word by word what he wants to do. He tells you something like, I have a tire bike and or my tire is flat, and the system has to detect that your bike is damaged and you want to get help with this. So that's one problem. The other problem is, as you solve the problems of customers through different channels, you also have to work with different kinds of texts. So if you have a help page, you have more keywords. On email side, on the other case, you have long text and there's a lot of information not relevant for this case. So you have to detect the spots where the relevant information is and where the questions are. So that are the challenges we are facing here.
So let's consider the machine learning aspect. How those challenges translated into machine learning challenges. So it just should detect the human intention, right? But it's very tricky because of these two reasons. One is that the customer support is really a moving target. Like moving target means that the data set if you capture today and 3 months ago and last year, data set is not completely, but over 30% different. People or the services actually launch new services, new devices, new apps, which makes new problems, new bike model, another problem. Or previously they had physical key, now they launch app-based key and pays it out. That makes a lot of moving targets. So data are constantly evolving. Not just the labor space, not just data space, both of them are actually changing. That leads us to small data problems. So the motto nowadays, again in this language processing or human language interaction is also the same. If you have big enough data with large enough model, you can reach human behavior, which is the gold standard goal. The problem is that if you don't have that much data, then there's nothing much you can do or easy. So that's our current situation. Of course, automatic labeling helps. Somehow we can capture support agent's behavior, hope that she or he is doing their best. But it's not always available. Say, day one problem. You launched a new service, and now we have a new policy of returning. Then at the beginning of the day, let's say this existing class has disappeared, a new class appeared, and it is just one data. If you are a machine learning guy, consider yourself like this. Your boss suddenly gives you a new problem, and then he says, oh, you only have a single label survey. But this is a reality in the customer support domain. So as I'm trying to convince, this is very hard problem because of the single data point, and then you still have to give pretty good enough answer to detect it. So naive approaches can fail miserably. By fail miserably, I mean that it is so easy to make a system that either worked good in 3 months ago, it runs today, but it's working perfectly in 3 months ago data, but not today's data. Or either the system will work successfully in 3 months later, when you collect enough data. So the machine that works good in day one is very hard to make. I guess it's not just our domain, any domain that moving data, you have to track the moving data space, you will have this problem. So this is how this runs topic. So if you machine learning theoretical background, they will call it distribution shifting case. If you are approaching from classification or other application, they will call it single shot or few shot or even zero shot learning problem. So it's almost impossible, many say. So what they usually do is they try to cope with reduce the bound, like just like appointment making or the reservation. Then you can do it very nicely because that core part doesn't change. But if you want to support the whole domain or new services launching, then you still have to do something. So the goal here is to make it work at day one, and it gets better as we get more data. So that was our challenge, and that is still the challenge of the customer support domain. So our approach, we tried various methods, and the one that survived is that we combined with a combination of some innovative approach in the machine learning space, but also the data acquisition cycle and data life cycle, we did some some steps that we believe that will work, and we have found some solution, which we will discuss this in shortly. Yeah, I don't exactly know any similar system to our system, so let's try to visit our system. So first, innovative or adaptation of well-known innovative method is, of course, the multitask learning. By multitask learning here, in this context, try to think of it this way. Let's say you have 1,000 data with 1,000 labels. Can you somehow make more tasks out of it? Somehow learn more from this existing given set of data? So how can we do it? So in our case, we try to get on the representation learning. So let's say you have the, intention recognition as a main task. Then this label data is that actually one consumer, or we assume that just one consumer of this multiple possible tasks. And then we make additional tasks. Nowadays, people call self-supervised instead of unsupervised, but the name doesn't matter. So some kind of unsupervised or self-supervised manner, we generate multiple tasks out of existing data. So this is consider this multitask learning. It's definitely multitask learning, but in this case, we try to retrofit to expand what we can learn from the given amount of data. So that's what we are doing. So here, unsupervised data in this context means that you try to hide a word and try to ask your machine to, okay, customer sent in this email, but this word is hidden. What it will be? Can you predict it? Or is this sentence actually coming from next to this customer request? So the machine tries to learn about the data domain itself, so-called X domain without label 1. So that's the one approach that we adopted to enable one-shot. Another very effective and also important thing is that try to learn from other data, bigger data, whole world. Human language is something we can always express, even if we see a completely new system. We can describe it with the language or the words we already learned, which means that in language there's enough generic concepts you can combine it to express new classes or new items. So that's our assumption, and generally true, not always true, generally true for the languages too. So here what we do is that we learn from, again, self-supervised fashion from very huge data, web data, Wikipedia data, and encyclopedia, and forum data, and so on. And then we learn some kind of generic encoding. This is so huge data, we generally learn it, let's say, very long time, once, and use it for a whole year or something like that. And then we have some domain data, like company internal documents or all historical requests people asked. Then we learn from this rather large data, and then we keep what we learned from this generic encoder. But here we learn more domain thing. For example, in generic encoder, we might learn the country names are country names, and Poland is country name, and things like that. But in this domain training, let's say this is all German-oriented service, then it's a connection between Ausland, a foreign country means that European foreign countries, or Poland is of course the foreign country, but not Germany kind of things picked up here. And then we do task-specific training. Let's say here we have single label of the, can I drive my car to, let's say, foreign country? So although a single example, then the machine already know or learn from generic data what is a foreign country, what kind of list is foreign country, yes, what kind of country wouldn't be listed in foreign country, and so on. So things learned from generic space, abundant, we learn it, try to keep it as much as possible. If it is contradictory, we will be forgotten. So we have some so it's kind of layered fine-tuning mechanism. So we do it and then learn again. So that's two techniques we use to enable one-shot learning. But machine learning algorithm itself isn't complete picture. This alone cannot, for example, let's assume that I have a very poor system that either worked in 3 months ago or maybe work in 3 months later. Let's assume that I replace it with these two mechanisms. Will it work better? The answer is no. The answer is no. The machine learning itself is just one part of the whole loop. Let's say I call it data model loop or data ecosystem. So here what we find as a final missing puzzle to solve this day one problem was this one, this whole loop. And then here here's the application. This application being used by support agent and then actual end customer, they use it. And then they generate a lot of behavior. We collect them as our data. So data capturing, we get support agent's behavior, strong signal, nearly gold data. And then we have on the end customer behavior. People ask something and they browse FAQ, they read this one, they click this one, kind of noisy, but somewhat meaningful. And then we have the data, raw data itself, text data itself. So all those signals are collected, and then we do machine learning training. Here, then the trained machine learning model is deployed. Let's say the agent suddenly added new service about, let's say, new e-bike or let's say e-scooter. Then this training step is initiated automatically without human intervention, and then even if this single shot model is deployed. This is important part. This update is done without human intervention. Human or manually annotated data have their place. They are very valuable. If you want to train some machines to understand negation, it's not what I wanted. Maybe kind of situation is really important to have them, but their place is not here. So anything that moves and anything that cannot move should be separated, and that's what we did. So let's assume that we have this single set edit. So single set we have some single, somewhat not very clear boundary. So it is naturally very conservative and also ends up in a conservative way. But because it's already in the system, in the next iteration, which is pretty quick, because no human intervention is there, it gets more and more data. So it actually, bootstrapping itself nicely. So this was our final puzzle that hitting the day one problem. As you see here, this what we learned from this experience is that a good integration is essential. Machine learning is one thing. So, machine learning engineer can do is one thing. But bigger context, how application runs, and how do we get the data, how we deploy it, how we make an ecosystem, a cycle that works, was actually a bigger issue. And that's something, as a machine learning engineer, that's something I've done. So this guy alone can't do that. We need the application designer or the actual domain system, or integration should be designed correctly to make this day one problem solved. Let's try to get that.
Okay, let's conclude everything. So we showed that one big part is the recognition of the intention of the customers. So we showed here that our system is able to also work with small data, and that we used advanced machine learning methods that are well designed in a complete ecosystem to grab all the data and get something meaningful out of this. And we have customers, more than 10 customers in the mobility services, and we answer like 100,000 requests each month for their support services. And there we have a solve rate of 15% around. But what we are currently working on is to enable the end customers to interact more with the system. So we try to get more information from backend systems from our customers to get to provide the customers more information and get more stuff for their done. So in the total conclusion, we are very happy that we are one part of the sharing the mobility sector, and we are looking forward to get more customers in that space. So thank you for your attention.